it's Leah here. I thought I'd do my second video about the tarot decks that surprised me and the first tarot deck that I fell in love with online while watching the tarot community. I'd only ever had one tarot deck before. It was the Radiant Rider-Waite, and it had been given to me as a gift, but I just couldn't get along with it. I really, honest to God, thought it was appalling, and the imagery just didn't speak to me, and I always thought of tarot reading as something more. I thought it would make me feel something, and because that one deck didn't make me feel anything except, ugh, I don't like this, I didn't realise that there were other tarot decks out there, and that was about 10 years ago, so yeah. So the first deck that I saw that actually captured my attention, it's over here in the cabinet that I've tried to get square in this shot and I can't because I'm using my phone, it's fallen over 7 times, is the Prisma Visions. I saw it. I saw the way the box opened and it was so mystical and so witchy, which really appeals to me. I love the aesthetic, and the little book that comes with it is just absolutely amazing. It's beautiful, just absolutely brilliant. Anyway, I didn't actually get this deck. I think I spotted it in 2016 when it came out. I didn't get this deck until Christmas this year that's just passed. My partner, who really is very atheist, very not interested, surprisingly chose this deck for me and got it spot on. I cry a lot, but it was amazing. Anyway, I'll pick that up in a bit, but as you can see, it's got gilded edges. Everyone's seen this already, I'm sure, but it's stunning and I want to show it. And the imagery is absolutely got, just look at this death card, look at it. And I've never been so grateful for a gift ever because usually I'm the person who goes out of their way. I'm really quite good at gift giving. Like, I spend ages thinking about it. I think, what will this person like? What do they love? You know, what can I get them that reflects that? And I don't know. Like, usually, like, my mum, for my birthday, got me a bright pink weird thing that looked like a tiny suitcase, and I didn't know what it was. It turns out it is a makeup case. I don't wear that much makeup. I only wear the same sort of makeup every time I wear makeup, and it's in a little bag, and yeah, she doesn't get it, but she made up for it this Christmas because I got 2 decks this Christmas. I also got the, I'm gonna sweep out, hold on. Yep. Loving the 40s and 50s aesthetic, in case you haven't noticed. I just had to get the Housewives Tarot. So my mum really came through with that, you know, but to be fair, I dropped massive hints over what I wanted for Christmas, so that can go there. But yeah, back to the Prisma Visions, absolutely stunning, and I've got my eye on the Light Visions as well, because for ages I thought they were exactly the same, just different colourings. And since I've looked, I can see the artwork is different, and it was the one that came out first, which I didn't realise initially. This Devil card is one of my favourite Devil cards. I hope it shows up. Oh, look at that. There's actually a snake in the autumn leaves just slithering away there. I love it. It's so beautiful. But yeah, Prisma Visions got me to fall in love with tarot again. I'd look at images of it online. I'd have it as my wallpaper on my phone. I just couldn't afford it at the time, and we just literally lost everything we owned. I'd moved here to the island, Isle of Wight, and I had nothing, and this was the first tarot deck that I fell in love with again, and he got it for me, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It's just, yeah, I love that. So that was the deck that got me to fall in love with tarot again. I'd say at the moment the decks that have surprised me, ones that I really didn't like the imagery of, and then something compelled me to get them anyway. Like, I'm gonna go straight into this. The Deviant Moon Tarot. It was everywhere. Everyone was doing reviews on it. Everyone was talking about it. Simon at Harriet's Cave, Kelly Bear, they all love this deck. Like, they adore this deck. And everything else that they had shown, I was like, yep, get that, totally understand that, love that deck. Deviant Moon, I don't know why, I just didn't like it. And then I kept thinking about it, I dreamt about it, and it got to the point I was just like, I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna have a look at it, and if I don't like it, I can pass it on to somebody, or you know, it can just sit in my collection. I don't know, maybe I'd learn to love it. But it turned up, and immediately I was in love with that deck. It spoke to me, I just adored it. I've edged it now, actually. I spent a long time edging it with a stupid extra fine tip pen that I bought by accident. So I edged it in gold. It looks more bronze in this light, but oh, look at those backs. Who can't love this? I always liked the backs, but the size and the shape of the cards, let's put it against the Prisma Vision, which I think, oh, look at that, with a little tiny man. Yeah, next to the Prisma Vision, I'd say that you can see the difference in card size. I love this. Look at this, they're all working on each other. That is just incredible. I've got my eye on the book. I've got my eye on the book. People will lose me for a long time if I read that book. But yeah, it's absolutely stunning. Everyone's done this review. I'm not doing a review, I'm just going to flip through some cards. Look at that tower card. Absolutely stunning. They're so fun and whimsical, and they've got that really creepy, almost Tim Burton-y feel. And I like Tim Burton, but with tarot, I always thought that I would go in a different direction. The more classical looking decks was what I thought I'd be interested in. And I was, initially, by the Prisma Visions. I just saw that just spoke to me, it just felt like me, you know, the colour and the fact that it still looked rather ancient and beautiful, and oh, I just love it. Other decks. This one shocked me. I'd seen Simon do a review of the Borderless Rider-Waite, and he was just so in love with it. He was so in love with the Rider-Waite Smith, and I'd never felt interested in the Rider-Waite Smith. But with the Centennial colouring and the original script down the bottom and the Borderless, it was stunning. But because I wasn't sure if I would love it, I put it off. I thought, I'm not getting that yet. I'm not getting it yet. I thought, if I'm going to learn with a Rider-Waite deck, just learn the imagery of the Rider-Waite rather than jumping from deck to deck and learning them individually. I should probably stick to the basics. And I'm not a tough person, so I haven't delved into that. I think I will, but I haven't done that yet. So I bought this first because I like the colouring, and it's the Smith-Waite Tarot deck in a tin, and they're gorgeous. I've got my eye on the Morgan Greer as well. It's so stunning, but it's, you can't really tell, hold on. We're losing, it's getting bashed up because it's always in my bag, upside down. But it's lovely. I've got this little token thing. We went to a place called Art and Barnes where they have a leather working shop, and I don't know, they call them tokens. They're not for anything, they're just decorative little Celtic hearts impressed in a circle of leather. And I remember when I got my Smith-Waite in a tin, I thought, oh, I don't know why, they go really well together. And I pretty much soaked this in a really nice essential oil that I'd got at Beltane, and it was just so lovely. It smelled great. So yeah, I also covered my hands with that for the first shuffle of this, and I was just like, careful, quickly, I don't want to ruin it, but at the same time, oh, it smells so, they smell so good, the smoke, so good. this deck has been through hell with me at the minute. It's quite battered, but I like that. It's getting that. As you can see, everyone's seen this deck, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to see if I can find my favourite card. Oh no, I'll do that in a minute. Oh, there it is actually. Yeah, I'll just show you now. I don't know why, but it reminds me of my childhood. And of course, it's nostalgia, so maybe that has something to do with that. But I adore this card. The Six of Cups I adore. In most decks, it's one that I'll look at because I really connect with that card. I just love it. I think it's where I grew up with my gran in Scotland, and it's a time that I look back on and I miss it so much. Whenever I'm down or I'm having a difficult time, that's where I want to be. In fact, after a couple of breakups, I have ran away to Scotland and stayed with my gran, where she's made me drink vodka and iron brew, because that's what the Scottish do. We're not vodka and coke people, we're vodka and iron brew people. My gran is your typical awesome crazy Scotswoman. I, on the other hand, am a very broken Scotswoman because I can't handle the cold or my drink, so I don't do either. So that was one of the decks that surprised me, and then of course I couldn't not get the borderless. That was the crystal in there. Got so inspired by Simon's video of it, and I just thought, why am I putting this off? Look at that. It's so gorgeous, and the green on the back I absolutely adore. We could do without these, but I adore it regardless. Like my hand's shaking. But yep, it's just stunning. And the colours and the pictures, they just pop out of the card. It's insane. There's no distractions from the borders. And even though they have added to the cards, it doesn't take away from the artwork. I know some people are like, they shouldn't have changed the artwork. I don't think they've changed it. I think they've done what they needed to make it a larger image, you know, especially with taking away the borders. I think they've done an absolutely incredible job. It's just gorgeous. I love it so much. And oh, the box I got. I didn't have a box for this. I had a bag for it, which I love for when I'm carrying around. But I was in a charity shop and I saw this, and it was only £1, and I thought, well, that is just beautiful. So yeah, it just sits beautifully in my little box, and because it's the deck that I use most at the moment, it just sits here with all my other strange witchy things. There is a Ouija board. There is a Ouija board. It's for aesthetics. I always wanted one because I think they're beautiful to look at. It's never been used. I'm not brave enough. I've seen too many movies. I enjoy those movies a lot. So, you know, occasionally everyone comes over and they have a drink and I'm like, shall we get it out? And everyone freaks out. I just like doing it to scare people. I've never actually got it out. You don't have to actually do that much. Other decks. Another deck that actually, when I wasn't using the Rider-Waite-Smith, and I wanted to learn from the Rider-Waite-Smith system that I got, and it was the first indie deck that I bought, and the shipping brought it to near on £100 just to buy the deck, was, if you haven't guessed, the gorgeous Pagan Otherworlds. I love this box. It's absolutely stunning. As you can see, mine's a bit used and battered. But in my opinion, if you love something, and you know, with a tarot deck, you don't want it to stay the box like this, especially a box like this. You don't want it to stay absolutely pristine. It just looks more aged and ancient when you know, bash it up a bit. And then, you know, this isn't the sturdiest box. It isn't. I like that. I like it with those cards. It just goes brilliantly. You know, are these in order? No, I don't think so. No, they're not. Oh, they might be. They might be. I mean, just look at that. So it was excellent for learning Rider-Waite-Smith system. Obviously the pips don't have any people in them, but you know, there was enough there that I could learn without it, and I did, you know. Understood the basics and things, but for a bit of a deeper, I absolutely love this. Now, this, again with the Wildwood, I'm going to bring that up actually, the Wildwood Tarot. The imagery in the Wildwood with the animal heads and the ancestor type card that came up and that sort of thing. I know a lot of people don't like the animal heads or cards where they wear a lot of fur. I just think back then, you know, that's what they would have worn. It's sad, but it's what they had to hand. It reminds me of a book series, and it was also made into a movie. It was called Clan of the Cave Bear, and I love it. It's all about spirit animals and being the main character becoming like a medicine woman. And it was, you know, back in the time with the cavemen and all that sort of thing. Oh, they're so beautiful. I think they brought out a gilded version that costs too much. Too much for me to spend on, I would say that, without a doubt. Love that. Look at the bear. She's just, oh, you just love that bear, don't you? I want a bear. Anyway, absolutely gorgeous deck. Gorgeous, and the backs are very pretty. Everyone's seen them. Everyone's seen them. I feel like I'm very late to this party. I need to buy some new decks. But no, I'm talking about what I love at the moment. I'm new. It's fine. So yeah. And then, well, how many decks have we done? 1, 2, 3. Vague mention of the Housewives Tarot. Let's talk about the Housewives Tarot actually, because I bought this to be a fun kitchen table kind of tarot deck, and that is adorable. Nobody can look. Right, I'm just gonna get out the Major Arcana for now. I bought this as a, well, I got this for Christmas. The cardstock is brilliant. It's really, really quite good. It hasn't peeled, it hasn't, you know, it hasn't warped. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I got this for Christmas from my mother. And it was going to be kind of a joke deck, but it reads incredibly well. It's so easy to read with, and it's always hilarious. I did a reading for my friend Lisa about a month ago with this deck before she went off to go work abroad, and I think one of the meanings of the cards in the book, I looked it up, and it said, because they've got funny little, it's just funnier, basically said that I don't know, she was a bitch or something like that, and it literally said the words, and I read it out, and I was like, okay, for a start, that wasn't me saying that. The cards are telling me to quit being such a bitch. She's not a bitch. She's amazing. But still, I didn't want her to be offended and think it was me saying these things. No, it's this sassy little deck. It's so sassy. It's just ridiculous. I just love the side. Where is it? No, it's under here. Yeah, this. Mimi Applebaum. Reading the tarot is so easy, and it's a great way to entertain guests. Fair enough. Ruth Cooper. Like my gelatin molds, the tarot is full of strange and mysterious things. Janice Terwillager? If it wasn't for the Housewives Tarot, I'd still be cleaning that filthy toilet. I just love it. I'm sorry. I love the whole 50s ridiculous advertisements. I've got to get the Zombie Tarot. In fact, that's what I'm going to talk about. Not the Zombie Tarot specifically, but decks that I have had my eye on for the longest time that I haven't got yet. Salem! It's my cat. I am a cliche. I have a black cat called Salem. You gonna come over and say hello? No. She's also slightly evil. She doesn't... I might bring her over in a bit. But Salem is actually one of the reasons I want, and I don't tend to go in for these quirky decks, but after the Housewives I just, you know, I'm more open to what I read with. Oh, I've lost it. No, the Everyday Witch Tarot, because in pretty much, I'm pretty sure every single card has the image of a gorgeous little black cat in it. Just, you know, following its owner around as she does all her witchy things, and I just adore it. Are you coming over? Yes? Yes! Hello! So can you see her? Oh, there she is. Salem, what's this? And she is gorgeous. And she's my big little black cat. Come here, you. Oh, there you are. Yeah, this is Salem. And I want to get the Everyday Witch Tarot. Because look, Salem is in the Everyday Witch Tarot. Yeah? You're in every card. You famous. Okay, you can go. So, you decide that today is the day you're going to be nice to me. I'm trying to film. She hates everyone. I don't understand why she's been so nice this last 3 days. Anyway, the Everyday Witch Tarot, because I just haven't managed to get a hold of it yet. And it's silly. I keep putting it off for other decks. Ones that I feel are going to be more serious, or I'm going to be more spiritually involved with. And yeah, there she goes. Stealing the show, Salem. Yeah. Anyway, the Everyday Witch Tarot is on my list, and the Bohemian Gothic. I love all things Gothic, and when I say Gothic, I don't mean you know, black lipstick and eyeliner and big chunky boots with the buckles. I mean, I went through that stage when I was about 15, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Gothic, as in Gothic literature and Gothic architecture, that sort of thing. For example, I have 2 of the most Gothic looking books you have ever seen. Dracula is one of my all-time favourite books, and this is the leather-bound version. Look at that back. Like, you could just... It's so great. I kind of want a path work with just the back of that book. It's absolutely stunning. So I really want, and the inside, it's, yeah, gilded. It's just beautiful. I mean, you can't fault this book, and it's got a little ribbon there. But yeah, the Bohemian Gothic appeals to me. Obviously, the aesthetic is just very me. My Frankenstein, I love it. That's gorgeous as well. So yeah, Bohemian Gothic is one of the top of my list. In fact, I may order it next week. It's not like I've been saying that for 3 months. I might order it next week or this week. And then I go out and I buy like silly things for the kitchen that are needed, like pots. Because my pot broke. And I was like, kept putting it off, and my partner was like, you're spending money on silly things, you need to, you know, well, it's fine, you know, and to be honest, I don't. Anyway, Bohemian Gothic is at the top of my list. Everyday Witch Tarot, way up there as well, and, oh god, there's one that I really, really want. What is it? Oh my goodness, the Pythia Botanica Tarot. No, Ophidia Rosa Tarot and the Pythia Botanica Oracle. I want the Ophidia Rosa Tarot so much. I actually got paid one week and I went onto Little Red Tarot and they'd sold out. So, my heart is broken and I don't want to spend a fortune getting the shipping from America again. It's just too much. So I'm just waiting, and I'm hoping that Beth will get it back in stock because she's lovely. I emailed her about it and she said they might be doing a reprint or something. So I really hope so, because if I've missed that deck, like, I felt like if there was going to be a deck that would be the one, it was going to be that, you know, when you get that feeling that this deck's going to be the one, and it might not be. But with this one I felt so, it just reminded me of growing up with my gran. It reminded me of, you know, being little and playing in the garden and trying to make perfumes out of petals, and there were big plastic ice cream tubs everywhere full of hot water and petals that I was trying to make perfume with, and I'd give it to everybody and it just smelled vile, but I was like, I smell pretty and I'm a princess and this is my special witchy perfume that's gonna make everyone think I'm pretty. I had the weirdest. Yeah, so the Ophidia Rosa is stunning, and hats off to Layla and Olive for that one, because that is absolutely stunning. So I might just buy the Pythia Botanica Oracle, because I don't actually have many Oracle decks. I think I've just got the one. I got Soul Cards 1. I was thinking about getting Soul Cards 2, and I looked at some of the images and some of them just didn't speak to me. They felt different than the first deck felt toward, like the way I felt toward the first deck. So yeah, tarot decks that surprised me, the first tarot deck that got me back into tarot, and top of my wish list, tarot. And I feel like I've just sat here and chatted absolute nonsense and didn't really plan this very well, but I will do another video very soon, and hopefully it will have more of a point than what I've done today. But yeah, it's been great, and I'm really enjoying being part of the tarot community, and I hope you're enjoying having me here. I will speak soon. Okay, bye bye lovelies.